on that. This is a drainage continuation hearing for Drainage District number 34 Lateral A. The date's Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 at 11:36 a.m. The supervisors acting as trustees for Drainage District number 34 Lateral A will meet to hold a continuation hearing in said district. First up, I'll call this meeting to order. And next, I'll seek a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, I will go ahead and open this hearing at 11:36 a.m. And we will begin with written comments. And I know we do have quite a bit. So if Cassandra, you want to take some time to go through all those, would be appreciated.
So I do have a lot, so bear with me. To whom it may concern regarding the farm property district drainage for DD 34 Lat A1, I reviewed the proposal through Webster County sent by AJ Blair, my farm tenant, and I approved the upgrade. Sincerely, K. Basler. My name is Casey Kirchner, and I represent Robert Hagan and Wilma Hagan Trust, owners of parcels 151800002 and 151800005. I was told to contact you to ensure we're registered and against the proposal. Let me know if anything else additional terms. Casey Kirchner. Could you provide some clarification on costs and payments on this? I received the spreadsheet and managed farms for the Rupp Trust. I have attached the spreadsheet for confirmation. My intent here is to see the current status of the project and get a specific cost and payment outline for the Rupp Trust. This is from Adam Pick. Hi, Adam. The current project is on hold at the moment, and that has been done at the time is the engineer's report, and they have also amended a report to add some cost in. I have attached the amended report so you have the costs figured in this email as well. The next meeting is going to be on January 13th at 11 a.m. and we will hopefully have a decision if we are moving forward with any of the options in the attached or just placing the report on file, and it will be valid for the next 10 years if something would need to change. The cost is in the spreadsheet attached for option E1. The far right column is the approximate amount that would be for each parcel. If this option would go through, from my understanding, everything on this would just be to those in A1 as lateral A would not be involved. If a different option is selected, there is a possibility that lateral A would also get cost, and then engineering would be split some. I hope I have clarified some of your questions. Feel free to email or call if you have any others. Oh, okay. At the $1,412,332.04 proposed, the Rupp Farm in its 132.5 acres are looking to pay $259,325.49 or $1,957.17 per acre. When this would get assessed to the landowners, that have a parcel over $500 you would have three options: to pay it all at once, sign a waiver to pay half of each payment parcel's assessment with September taxes and the other half with March taxes with no interest, a signed waiver to pay over 10 or 20 years. The amount of years would be set by the board. The payment would be the yearly amount plus 6% interest. The waivers would be filled out with the drainage clerk in the auditor's office if that is the option the landowner would decide to do. Thank you again for the info. Anytime, let me know if anything else I can help with. Hello, Crystal. Below in bold is the email response from the landowners of the Irma Rupp and others farm. They would not vote to proceed with the project due to the cost involved. And then this is the part in bold. Adam, thank you for keeping us up to date on this project. We have discussed this and we all agree that this cost is too high. It makes one wonder why it suddenly ballooned in cost. Your diligence in figuring out the numbers and your advice is appreciated.
That was an email between Crystal Lloyd and Adam Pick.
Yes, an email between Crystal Lloyd and Adam Pick. I am writing in regards to the repair and or improvement of Drainage District number 34 Lateral A in Webster County, Iowa. I own land in said district and I vote no to repair or improve project. I feel that the cost far outweighs the benefits that will be afforded my land located in Clay Township, Section 24, owned by John E. Flickinger Trust. Signed by John E. Flickinger and Carla Flickinger. And this is the email between Hunter Fours and Crystal Lloyd.
Some of these aren't included on the A1 line, just to give context, but they did want these entered into the meeting minutes, so we're just going ahead and adding those in here as well.
My name is Hunter Fours. I have an interest in property located within the boundary of District number 34. It has been brought to my attention that there is a proposal to install a new lateral A within the district. I have been provided a copy of the report dated July 16th, 2025, prepared by Parker Just and McClure. I am also a recipient of what appears to be an amendment to the report to include two new proposals, option E1 and E2. As an initial matter, I have a few questions about the report. I was comparing the 2025 report with the 2017 report I found on Webster County's website, and I noticed several inconsistencies within just the history and background section of the reports. One such example is the 2017 report indicates the original assessment for the district in 1909 was $49,423. But the 2025 report indicates the original assessment was $50,005. I do not know how in 8 years between the reports, the value of the original 1909 assessment increased by $582. But one would think the numbers would be consistent between reports, since there has been a definitive number since 1909, which has already happened. Furthermore, comparing these two reports, I noticed the 2017 report indicates the open ditch was cleaned out in 1940. The 2025 report indicates the open ditch was cleaned out in 1941. While neither of these two issues are substantial or crucial to the report, I think it calls into question the validity of the rest of the report. If the report is unable to get providable information correct, how can it be trusted to adequately discuss a future possibility? In addition to these issues, I also think the addition of the two new options, E1 and E2, should be included in the report with complete breakdown like options A1 through D2. The entire report needs to be updated because the numbers for options A1 through D2 in the report on page 8 do not match the numbers on the revised handout. I do not think it is adequate to put forth these options for serious consideration without having the same information as there is for the other options. There may be a revised report already which has this information, but I do not have that and therefore cannot fully consider all of the options. I am also requesting a cost breakdown by landowners of parcels for the entirety of District number 34, or for those landowners who will have to pay anything for each of their options. I am looking at the proposed costs, all which are over $1 million, and want to know what the costs are going to be. Given the current state of the farming economy, understanding what additional financial burdens could be placed on landowners is crucial and must be considered in determining whether this project should even move forward. Given the complete lack of information on this proposal, I strenuously object to move forward with the new proposal, lateral A in District number 34. And this response is from Crystal. I am the previous drainage clerk for Webster County, and the current one is out. So I am going to assist in answering some of your questions, concerns. First, the reports from 2025 and 2017 These reports are from different engineering firms, so I can't be 100% sure why the history information is different in the district, as I don't know what they both looked at. I can tell you that since I started in the courthouse in January 2017, McClure Engineering has gone through all of the county drainage records and updated our maps and reports for all the districts. I'm not sure if MER used the updated information from them or not. The different dates of when the ditch was cleaned out could be a difference of when the project was started and when the project ended. I have never worked with the engineering firms as more than a drainage clerk, and I've never been with them to see what they all look at to put their engineering reports together to give you clearer answers than this. Thank you for pointing out that the amendment is not on the website. I am going to send to our IT now to get this on and have attached in this email as well. My apologies for this not being on the website before today. I have attached a spreadsheet that I pulled from our software and based it on 1.4 million being the cost of the project for lateral A1 only being improved. There are waiver options that will be placed in the time the district would be assessed. If a parcel is over $500, which in the case of 1.4 million, all would be, which would be paid in full, pay half at September and half at March taxes with no interest, or pay yearly installments, either 10 or 20 years, depending on what the board would set, with 6% interest. Please let Supervisor Montgomery or myself know if you have any other questions. Also, let us know if you would like this email to be put on file at the hearing, or would you like update as you have received new information. Again, my apologies for not getting the amendment on the website before today. I hope this helps a little more information on the district and the project. Thank you for your quick response. Thank you for providing me with the additional information. Would it be possible for me to get the cost sheet for option D1? With the cost you already provided and the most expensive option, it will allow for a more robust understanding of the potential financial impacts. Yes, I would like my initial email to be part of the file for the hearing. Could you please tell me when the hearing is scheduled for and when additional comments I would like add and need to be submitted? I will make sure your initial email gets added to the hearing. The hearing is on Tuesday, January 13th at 11 a.m. in the Board of Supervisors room. Attached is a copy of what approximate cost is for option D1. I do want to mention this would have some work on lateral A, so I don't believe that all of this amount would have been split up just to lateral A1. But without working more with the engineer on this, I'm not sure what the percent would be for A1 and A. So the Excel sheet that is attached is putting all of the D1 option to lateral A1. I believe this is a high amount with needing to pull off what should go to lateral A, but your parcels would also pay for a portion of A. Hope this all makes sense. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Thank you so much for all your help in getting me the information I have requested. I greatly appreciate it. If possible, I would like all of my stuff made a part of the record of the hearing, including this email. I continue to object on this proposed project. I don't think the benefits outweigh the cost. Looking at the information provided in the first spreadsheet about the cost of options E1, the costs have ballooned by nearly $1 million from when this was first proposed to what it is before the Webster County Board of Supervisors. While the benefits may have outweighed the costs initially, times have changed and the costs have been risen exponentially above than the benefits. Based on a simple cost benefit analysis, it is clear that the costs substantially overshadow whatever benefit might be achieved by the proposal. For example, take the property owned by Todd and Renee Anderson. It is approximately 80 acres according to the Webster County Assessor. According to the spreadsheet for costs for option E1, they could expect to have to pay approximately $167,000. Assuming this project results in an average yield increase of 10 bushels per acre for corn, they could expect to produce an additional 800 bushels of corn on this property. The closing price for corn in January 9th, 2025 was approximately $4.11 per bushel. That means they could expect an additional $3,288 in income based upon the 10 additional bushel per acre. For spending $167,000, they would get a return on investment of approximately $3,288. That is a return of approximately negative 98%. Assuming corn prices stay flat, which is what the economy trends predict, it would take the Andersons for their 80 acres approximately 51 years before they would see a return from this investment. Even if corn goes back up to $7 per bushel, which I think is highly unlikely, it would still take the Andersons approximately 30 years before they see a return on their investment. It actually will be a substantially higher investment amount in length and time if they cannot afford to simply write a $167,000 check. Using the numbers provided to me, should the Webster County Board of Supervisors allow for a 20-year repayment plan at 6% interest, the Andersons, for example, will actually pay in total approximately $288,000. This moves the first positive return out of 88 years for $4 corn and 52 years for $7. 2014 and 27.8 respectively. This is just one walkthrough of any numbers of landowners impacted by this proposal. The costs have simply risen too high, while the benefits have remained flat. It is important to note this project is an incidental cost/benefit to landowners. The proposal is an incurred cost about how to get 10 more bushels per acre. It is not going to be a drastic increase when returns are high. The yields are what they are. This proposal is trying to just a little bit more of the next step. It is not going to magically turn 150 bushel per acre field into a 225 bushel per acre field. Like my example above, it is going to turn a 200 bushel per acre field into a 210 bushel per acre field. The 10 bushel increase is not a substantial enough benefit to outweigh the enormous costs landowners would have to bear in this project to be approved. I respectfully object this proposed projection and request you to deny the project. Thank you so much for all your help in giving me the information I requested. I greatly appreciate it. If possible, I'd like all my stuff recorded in this email. And thank you, Hunter. I will make sure the email as well as your prior ones get read and entered into the meeting minutes. Appreciate the data and examples you use in explaining your reason. Then the next few were mailed to us. This is from Christine Altman. To whom it may concern, I am in the opposition of the work in Burnside and Clay Township. The lateral A was worked on previously. Our farm was billed $28,000 within the last 5 years roughly. I do know which farmer started this initial project. It is only to the advantage of one farmer. Why does every other landowner have to pay? Maybe the contractor that did the initial project were not competent if there is a need for repairs already. They do not carry insurance to fix their mistake. Do they not carry, insurance to fix their mistake? I also hope that you will reclassify the district before the project is done. CRP acres are not hooked into tile lanes, so hence the reclassification. We do need to pay for the benefits that we do not received. I am not sure why initially we were told $127 and now it is $175 per acre. Once again, I am not sure that anyone knows what is going on or being done. Why is it that our district is the only district subject to the issue? Commodity prices are a disaster. Most farmers barely break even. Maybe the landowners for this are the only ones benefiting. If that is the case, they should pay the whole bill. Why did someone even decide to investigate this? I live in another district. Nothing like this is ever even considered. Only cleaning of drainage ditches. Whomever suckered the county engineers into this is a fool. I am retired and on Social Security. I do not farm or live in an area that would subject the amendments to such a huge environment. Once again, I am opposed to this. This letter is from Ronald Fors. To the Webster County Board of Supervisors, as a landowner in the northeast section of Section 12 in Clay Township, I am opposed to the drainage project. With the low grain prices and the high expenses associated with farming, I don't think that this would be a great time to undergo such a project. And the last one is from Charles Fors. As a landowner in the drainage district that contains lateral A1, I am writing in opposition to this project. I feel that any money I would be paying towards this project would not produce a good return on the investment. In conclusion, I want to thank you for your time and to restate that I am opposed for this project. And that is all the written comments I have.
Thank you for reading all those and getting through all that. We appreciate it. That's quite a lot. Next up will be oral comments. I don't know if Crystal, you kind of want to get an overview of kind of where we're at to kick us off here before we open it up to the floor.
Crystal Lloyd, Budget and Finance Director currently, previous drainage clerk. Cassandra has been out for a couple of months, so I've been helping out a majority of this as well. I've put together a spreadsheet that Cassandra has now of those that have sent emails, letters, verbally talked to us, whichever, to either Supervisor Montgomery or myself, stating they are for or against. At this time, I did include in my spreadsheet, but now with clarification from Attorney Ryan Kem, I did put Webster County Roads and Iowa DOT in as owners and as holding acres as well. Don't believe they really are landowners per se. So those probably shouldn't be shouldn't be in it. Currently, we have over 60% or at 60%, and that includes those two as landowners, stating that they are against the project. With a total, Cassandra, please correct me if I'm wrong, around 65% of the acres, a little shy of.
64.5.
Okay. So that's where we're currently at. Question for everybody in the room, supervisors, landowners, everything. This is an improvement per Iowa code. Needs to be desirable or necessary and feasible to move forward. So those are things you all need to consider as well. As for cost, I know I had emailed with Hunter Fors on this as well. But Attorney Ryan Kem and I have talked as well the last couple days or yesterday on this and discussed that this was a petition for A1. We did send it out to everybody in A because it could affect A as well. So that's why everybody has been involved from the get-go. But the petition was for A1. The cost will be going to the A1 landowners for the engineering report. If it stops, if it goes forward, whichever, it would go towards A1 landowners. If there is a possibility that somebody is wanting to do something just to A, that would need to be a new petition and start over. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. Any questions for me right now?
Well, I think that sums it up. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't want to put Lloyd Stewart on the spot or anything. But you were a signature of the petition originally, but now you're stating you're opposed to the project. Is that correct? Sure, if you can. Just, I don't think we have anybody online, but just we have it on the record.
Lloyd Stewart. Initially, I was for this project, and I believe it does need to be upgraded at some point. But at this point, paying for this extreme amount seems ridiculous. And I know Doreen just said it has to be feasible and economical as well. And it doesn't look at this point that it is. And passing the land on to future generations is neat and cool if it's all paid for and done up. But if they have to sell the farm to pay for it in the end, it doesn't look that beneficial to me either. So at this point, I'm going to be against it, and I can say the same. He's only an acreage owner. He has a very small part in it, but he couldn't be here today. So I'm speaking on his behalf as well. So that's where I'm
Appreciate it,
at.
Lloyd. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I
You
just
sure
wanted to
did, thanks.
clear that up, so. Appreciate it. Now, this time we'll open it up to any other comments from the floor. Don't be shy. Anybody?
Got y'all here. I'd love to hear what you think.
I know this is our third go around at this, so I kind of know where everybody stands on this issue, so. Kevin?
All the rest of my family is pretty much spoken up, but I'm in agreement that I think that the cost outweighs any of the benefits, and until there's some project that has a beneficial cost that's going to be helpful to everybody, I would be against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Anyone else?
Well, the Department of Transportation does something about improving the drainage where it crosses Highway 50, that there is an issue about whether any of the benefits are going to accrue from improving this district. And so I think that that needs to be part of the plan if in fact there's going to be an improvement. Thanks.
Thank you. AJ?
Speak on behalf of the landowners I farm for, but this is the drainage amount is so far below current standards. And some of the ground that we've taken out of production since the 2017 assessment, you know, that these tiles are over 100 years old now. So someone had the foresight, and it wasn't cheap or easy for them to put this in. And we've had a lot of people live off that benefit for 100 years. So we're seeing, you know, that tile we've made repairs through the ground we farm over time. And I guess when I put it in the perspective of 100 years, it's kind of relative to cost, but some of this ground we're hoping to bring back into production with a new system that's up from less than 2/10 of an inch, you know, get it closer to a 1/2 inch a day. And I think that's the line A. They've had that benefit of a 1/2 inch of drainage, and across the fence, you know, we've seen I farm on both of them, and there's significant differences in the production of those farms and just the ability to get in and be on the ground as a farmer. So long term, it's a hard decision to make, but it's, you know, you guys are willing to spread the cost out for the landowners, and it's significantly farther behind than any other drainage district I farm over, I guess. So I think there is benefit, and they're still okay. I think you've gotten the emails, so.
Yep. And can you also just state your name? Sorry, I didn't mention that.
AJ Blair.
Thank you, AJ. I know also code mentions that 50% of the landowners representing 70% of the land if it's a remonstrance, correct? Opposed? So we're at about 60% opposed, representing 64.5%. Okay. Any other comments before we close this public hearing?
My questions are, is it desirable? Is it necessary? And is it feasible? I don't know who can answer those questions, but
You could come up to the mic, Don, and state your name, please.
First of all, I'm not on A1. I do own land on B. So we would be affected if line A was improved, but I used to farm those farms on A1. And I think whether or not it's beneficial depends on the individual farm and what the drainage is on it right now.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Don. Yeah, I could point to Hunter's Four's email too. I mean, he gave kind of a good example of cost estimates, return on investment. I don't know if those figures are 100% accurate, but I do think that was a good explanation of kind of where things are with the current economy where grain prices are going to head in the future, it's a challenge for sure for a lot of farmers to make those payments. Any other comments from the table? Luke, you want to kind of talk through that?
Yeah, Luke Huggins, McClure Engineering. Is your question about the amendment to our report or previous reports and their
Your
process?
report.
Yeah, so the numbers that were pulled for pulling together the original cost estimates in the report last year was done using a pool of numbers that weren't specifically in the ag side of business on this side of the state. We had some engineers on the eastern part of the state that used some DOT numbers and a few others recent, more urban environments. And so when we came back to look at that additional option, that option E that only looked at lateral A1, we wanted to do a more global look at those numbers. That's what I was talking about in the last hearing. So that's where we pulled some more recent projects and met with both the concrete and plastic pipe distributors to figure out what some of their recent numbers were. And that's where those updated costs were. I would say even if back in July we had those same numbers, I mean, these are what the numbers are to the best of our abilities now. So those would be the ones that we would stand by today in that report amendment as the most recent and the ones that we've seen with, again, the most global input from bids across the state.
Appreciate it. Anyone else? Go ahead and state your name, please.
Lanny Rosenquist. I just have a question. Why was an engineer company called before we knew how many people were on board with this? It seems kind of backwards. If you're not even going to go forward with a project, why would you call an engineering company?
I think that's part of the process to kind of figure out where cost would lie and figure out what it's going to look like.
If it's not going to go through, why would you do that?
I don't know if there's a
Why wasn't there a meeting with the landowners first? And then if they approved it and they want to go forward, then hire an engineering company unless they're working for free. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Chris, you want to talk through the process and some of that?
So process for doing an improvement, getting the engineer involved in the process. Landowner typically approaches me, well now Cassandra, to get a petition put together for improvement of a tile line, if it's a significant repair, whichever. I always have given the recommendation to at least get one landowner signature. Ideally, it's better to get more so we know this isn't potentially going to happen, that more are against in that what we believe. But it is not required by code to get more than one. We just have to have a petition. So once the petition is received, that's placed on file with the supervisors acting as trustees for the district, and then they appoint an engineer. It's the process the code's always given us. Unless something changes, that's going to be process that we have to abide by. So after we get it to the engineer or we appoint the engineer, we send the petition to them, then they do their work behind the scenes that I have no clue what they do. That's all Luke. But we give it to them, they get us a report, and that's when we get notice to you that there's going to be a hearing after they set a date. And it's got to follow code by like 10 to 20 days after publication. I don't remember those exact numbers, but that's the process we go through.
Thanks, Crystal. And yeah, feel free to come up again.
Who pays for the engineering company to assess a situation? You know, is it the taxpayers that pay for the engineering company?
The district.
So taxpayers then.
Correct.
So this information, if it doesn't go through, that's void. It's all for naught then. Because when you do it next time, there's going to be another study that has to be done.
It's normally
Doesn't
good
make
for
sense.
about 10 years and then it will have to
Yeah,
be.
so it's not, you're not going to use the old study, are you? To do the engineering part? I'm really confused on this and maybe somebody can help me out, but it seems like all this money is going for nothing. And then next time, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, you're going to use a different report. It makes more sense to me to have the landowners meet first and see if they're for it or against it. And if the numbers aren't there, why even do the assessment? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I understand that. Yeah, we're going by what code states, but we appreciate that.
Just gonna bill it to Nate.
Any other comments? All right. I'll go ahead and close this public hearing at 12:11 PM. Next up is if we have a motion on improvement of the tile line. Hearing none, that motion will fail or no motion, so we just move on, correct? All right. Next up, I'll seek a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. And again, thank you, everybody. I know both sides